Biomed Nexus Daily Updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR ASCO 2026 closes today after a conference that delivered 3 plenary practice changes: Revolution Daraxonrasib, Akeso Ivonescimab, J&J Eliada Proteus, and dozens of oral session datasets that will reshape treatment algorithms across oncology. Beyond the plenary, key results included Keynote B15 EV304 showing a 55, 8% pathologic complete response rate with enfortumab vedotin plus Keytruda in perioperative bladder cancer versus 32.5% for chemo P0001. Kelonia presented in vivo CAR-T data that Fierce Biotech said justified the $2 billion price tag Lilly recently paid. J&J Rybrevant plus Lazcluze showed a 41-month median OS in atypical EGFR NSCLC Chrysalis-2. Apogee Therapeutics, APGE, secured up to $1. 3B in non-dilutive financing from Blackstone Life Sciences to support development and commercialization of zumilokibart in atopic dermatitis. Hengrui Pharmaceuticals presented more than 90 oncology studies at ASCO 2026, underscoring China's accelerating presence in global oncology R&D. ADA 2026, American Diabetes Association, is up next with GLP-1 obesity data as the headliner. Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference opens June 4th in New York. Your ASCO field guide is live, searchable, filterable, catalyst-aware. Bookmark it, Biomed Nexus. ASCO 2026, Executive Takeaway. ASCO 2026 was the most consequential oncology meeting in years. The plenary sessions set 3 new treatment standards in a single afternoon. We covered these in detail yesterday. But the oral abstract sessions were nearly as important. The Keynote B15's EV304 data in bladder cancer showed that combining an ADC enfortumab vedotin with a checkpoint inhibitor, Keytruda, before and after surgery produced pathologic complete responses in more than half of patients, nearly doubling the chemotherapy rate. This is the ADC plus IO combination thesis validated in yet another tumor type. Kelonia's in vivo CAR-T presentation at ASCO gave the first detailed look at the data that led Lilly to pay $3 for a company that had raised $60 million total. Fierce Biotech said the data helped justify the price tag. And J&J's Chrysalis-2 update showed 41-month median OS with Rybrevant plus Lazcluze in a typical EGFR NSCLC, a population with historically poor outcomes, further solidifying J&J's lung cancer franchise. Outside ASCO, Apogee locked in $1, 3B from Blackstone, one of the largest non-dilutive biotech financings of the year, to push zumilokibart through pivotal development in atopic dermatitis. And Hengrui presented 90-plus studies, a reminder that the China to West pipeline we have tracked all year is producing data at scale. Read full analysis, what to watch, Revolution Medicines, CNPV filing, expected imminently after ASCO. Truist projected Q3 approval. The expanded access program is already accepting patients. ADA 2026, the American Diabetes Association's annual congress features GLP-1 obesity data, including new entrants challenging Lilly and Novo. Biospace, Obesity Davids and Goliaths face off at ADA 2026. Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference, June 4th. New York. Major strategic presentations from pharma and medtech. Management commentary post-ASCO. Capricor, Doramyocel, PDUFA, August 22. Cell therapy for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Just named a chief commercial officer. Signaling pre-launch preparation. Medicare GLP-1 bridge, July 1st, 4 weeks out. ASCO. Wrap-up. The data that mattered beyond the plenary bladder cancer. EV304 ADC plus IO combination produces 55, 8% complete response, MRK, PFE the phase. 3. Keynote B15 EV304 trial showed that enfortumab vedotin, Padcev, plus pembrolizumab, Keytruda, produced a 55. 8% pathologic complete response rate in perioperative muscle-invasive bladder cancer compared with 32. 5% for gemcitabine, cisplatin chemotherapy, estimated difference 23. 4% P0001. This validates the ADC plus checkpoint inhibitor combination approach in yet another tumor type, following similar successes in breast cancer, Enhertu, and lung cancer, sac-TMT plus Keytruda. The result positions Padcev plus Keytruda as a potential new perioperative standard. Kelonia, in vivo CAR-T data justify Lilly's $3.2b investment. Lilly Fierce Biotech reported that Kelonia shared the largest slice of data yet for its in vivo CAR-T, helping to justify the $3.2 billion price tag Lilly recently paid for the biotech. The data from the KLN-1010 program, lentiviral in vivo anti-BCMA CAR-T for multiple myeloma, were presented at ASCO, giving the oncology community its first detailed look at the clinical evidence behind Lilly's biggest cell therapy acquisition, J&J Rybrevant plus Lascluze 41-month OS in atypical EGFR NSCLC J&J updated Chrysalis 2 data showed amivantamab Rybrevant plus lazertinib Lascluze achieved a median OS of 41, 0 months at 31, 3 months of follow-up in first-line atypical EGFR mutated advanced NSCLC. 55% of patients were alive at 3 years. Investigators noted this regimen has now demonstrated substantial survival benefit in both classical and atypical EGFR mutated advanced NSCLC. Hengrui presented 90-plus studies. Hengrui Pharmaceuticals presented more than 90 oncology studies at ASCO 2026, the largest ASCO presence by any Chinese pharma company. The data spanned multiple tumor types and modalities, reinforcing Hengrui's position as a leading source of clinical-stage oncology assets for Western licensing partners. BMS signed a 15-year 2B deal with Hengrui in May, Lilly partnered via Kylera. Corporate and business development's Apogee locks. In $1, 3B from Blackstone for zumilokibart. Apogee Therapeutics entered a strategic financing collaboration with Blackstone Life Sciences for up to $1. 3B in flexible, non-dilutive capital to support development and potential commercialization of zumilokibart in atopic dermatitis, according to the pharma letter. Zumilokibart is an anti-OX40L antibody in phase 2-3 development. The Blackstone financing is one of the largest non-dilutive biotech deals of 2026 and gives Apogee a runway to pursue pivotal development and potential launch without additional equity dilution. ASCO 2026, the final scorecard dataset result impact revolutio, in Resolute 302, Plenary, OS HR0, 40, PFS HR0, 49, NEJM published practice changing, CNPV filing imminent, Akeso Ivonescimab Harmony 6, Plenary, OS HR0, 66 vs PD1 plus, chemo first China drug in ASCO Plenary, J&J Eliada Proteus, Plenary, reduced metastasis death risk 125-year prostate paradigm shift, EV304 bladder cancer PCR 55, 8% vs 32, 5%, P0001, ADC plus IO validated in bladder, Kelonia in vivo, CAR-T detailed, KLN-1010, data justified Lilly's 3-2B acquisition, Chrysalis 2, EGFR NSCLC, for 1-month median, OS-J&J lung cancer franchise expanded, sac-TMT plus, Keytruda, abstract, NSCLC 65%, PFS improvement, HR035, Merck's post-Keytruda ADC validated, Hengrui portfolio 90-plus studies presented China's oncology R&D at global scale, ASCO 2026, themes, being ADCs moved from late-line to front-line and curative settings, Enhertu, Datraway, EV304, SAC-TMT, AUN2. RAS inhibitors emerged as a new pillar of GI oncology, Daraxonrasib 3. Bispecific antibodies produced OS data, Ivonescimab 4. In vivo CAR-T moved from preclinical to clinical validation, Kelonia, all 5. China's oncology pipeline went mainstream, Hengrui 90-plus studies, Akeso Plenary, Kelun Biotech ADC, the week ahead. Today, ASCO 2026 closes June 4, Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference, New York, June 2026, ADA 2026, American Diabetes Association, GLP-1 Obesity Focus, June 2026, Takeda CEO transition, Julie Kim, imminent, Revolution Medicines, CNPV NDA filing, July Fun, Medicare GLP-1 Bridge Program launches, August 27, Capricorn Deramiocel PDUFA, Duchenne Cell Therapy, Read Full Analysis Biomed, Nexus, Pro, Institutional Intelligence Brief ASCO, 2026, 5 themes for the next 12 months. ADCs are the new backbone of oncology treatment. 3 ADC datasets at ASCO, EB304, SAC-TMT plus Keytruda, Kelonia, in vivo, CAR-T adjacent data, join 2 recent approvals, Enhertu early breast cancer, Datraway 1L TNBC, to establish ADCs as the fastest growing modality in oncology. Every major pharma company is now invested in ADCs, Gilead, 15B across Arcellx, Auro, Tubulis, Merck, Kelun Biotech, SAC-TMT, Lilly, Crossbridge, AstraZeneca, Daiichi Sankyo, Enhertu, Datraway, and J&J EV304. The next wave of ADC filings will come in 2026 and 2027 across lung, bladder, endometrial, and gastric cancers. 2 RAS inhibitors created a new GI oncology franchise, Daraxonrasib's Resolute 302 data, OSHR0, 40 PFSHR0, 49 established the first targeted therapy with a survival benefit in pancreatic cancer. Revolution's CNPV filing is imminent. The company already has first-line combination data, 58% ORR at AACR, and a next-generation catalytic inhibitor, RM045. ABV, Kestrel, Erasca, and others are pursuing CRAS, but Revolution has a substantial lead. 3 bispecific antibodies produced their first OS data. Ivonescimab's Harmony 6 OS result, HR066, is the first time a bispecific antibody has demonstrated an overall survival advantage over a PD-1 inhibitor in a Phase 3 trial. The US path is complicated, Chinese-only data, Summit Therapeutics as partner, but the mechanistic validation is clear. 4 in vivo CAR-T moved to the clinic. Kelonia's ASCO presentation gave the oncology community its first detailed look at lentiviral in vivo CAR-T data. Lilly paid $3 2B. The data apparently justified the price. If in vivo CAR-T works at scale, it replaces the costly, time-consuming ex vivo manufacturing process and makes cell therapy accessible to a far larger patient population. 5 China's oncology pipeline is now global. Hengrui presented 90-plus studies. Akeso got the first Chinese plenary in 61 years. Kelun Biotech's SAC-TMT produced 2 Phase 3 wins for Merck. The Coins Act debate will intensify, but the data quality from Chinese biotech is now undeniable. What comes next? The next 90 days will determine the commercial trajectory of several ASCO datasets. Revolution, Daraxonrasib, CNPV filing imminent, Q3 approval projected, first pancreatic cancer, targeted therapy revenue in Q4 2026 or Q1 2027, Merck SAC-TMT, global filing, Trofuse 007, expected H2 2026 for NSCLC, endometrial cancer filing also expected, J&J Eliada Proteus, SNDA filing for perioperative prostate cancer expected in the coming months, EB304 Padcev plus Keytruda, regulatory submission for perioperative bladder cancer expected, Akeso Ivonescimab, U.S. regulatory strategy under Summit Therapeutics TBD, confirmatory U.S. trial likely needed, Catalyst, calendar, June 2026, forward date event tickers, June 4 Jefferies, Global Healthcare Conference, New York, multiple June 2026 ADA 2026, GLP-1 obesity data, LY, NVO, KLRA June 2026 Takeda, CEO transition, Julie Kim, take imminent revolution. Medicines, CNPV NDA filing RVM delayed Q2 Lilly Foundayo, T2D filing under CNPV LY Q3 2026 Revolution Medicines, Daraxonrasib approval projected, Truist RVMD July. 1 Medicare GLP-1 Bridge Program. Launches LLY NVO Q3 2026 Teva Emalex, close expected Teva July. 31 Section 232 Pharma tariffs effective, large companies. Multiple August 22 Capricorn Deramiocel PDUFA, Duchenne Cell Therapy, SAPRH2 2026 Merck, SAC-TMT, global filing, expected MRKH2 2026 Foundayo, T2D regulatory action expected LLYH2 2026 Lilly Kelonia. Close expected LLYH2 2026 Ajax. Proof of concept data expected LLI 2026 Triumph 2 Retade TrueTide T2D. Readout expected LLI delayed 2026 early 2027 Bridge Bio. BBP 480 PDUFA priority review. BBIODEC 2026 Mineralist Lorundrostat. PDU FAM Lewis 2127 Rita TrueTide launch. Anticipated BMO LeadX 7 Lilly. Investment community meeting LLY. Visit the Pro Hub, read full article. Limited ASCO week sponsorship slots available May 29th, June 7th. Reach 65,000 plus professionals during the biggest oncology event of the year. Learn more. Is your company listed in the Biomed Nexus directory? 2,104 companies across 14 categories. Claim or upgrade your listing. Sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus. Signals weekly sales intelligence for life sciences. BD teams. Learn more.